She left.
We're recording. Thank you.
Ready to go? Okay. All right, Fire Protection Board meeting, February 26th, called to order. First order of business, review of the minutes of December 4th. Here a motion
I
on,
make a motion to approve.
is there a
Second.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, passed. We also have the minutes of January 23rd, the special meeting for racial relief. Any discussion, or is there a motion to accept those minutes?
So
Where we
moved.
agree?
Motion. Second.
Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And passed. Okay. Any comments? Comments, concerns, people present today? No? Hearing none, we'll move on to the DCP investigative report. It's up on the screen there.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Chairman, I was still on mute.
Oh, okay. I saw the things flashing by. I was waiting to.
Yeah, no, Rochelle's gonna handle it for showing to you guys. For the time frame, November 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, the department received one new complaint and the department closed 2 files. The first one, the investigator did a assurance of voluntary compliance, and a $5,500 forfeiture was gained. And on the second one, there were no violations found. There was no further action needed, but we did put a file and monitor on it that anybody who comes across with a complaint, we will put file and monitor so we can keep track of them.
How long does an AVC say on someone's record?
It stays with the file. It's not a credential action. According to the legal department, we keep it in the file that we settled it on.
Okay, just because I know this first one on the top there, this guy's been same issue before, pretty much. Since I've been on the board. So I just was wondering if that's taken into consideration.
The assurance is a voluntary compliance. If it's longer than 3 years from the first one that was signed to the next one, legal department has said we start from square one again.
Okay, that's probably what happened then.
All right, I got a question for you, Janita. This goes, I'm assuming it goes to the commissioner that approves the assurance of voluntary compliance? Or
Yep.
is it just somebody in the department that does that?
No, the commissioner has to sign them and accept them. That's how it works.
But somebody's making that recommendation to them, correct?
No, once it's the investigator has worked through it with the respondent, then we fill out a checklist after we've looked for court records and other issues. We put that on the cover sheet, we send it to the commissioner, and basically he's signing what they've already signed and paid for.
So he can be swayed by the investigator, what he puts in his report.
There's no report, it's a form.
Well,
It's
the
a
form,
for-
whatever,
it's-
but I
it's-
mean, my point is I talked to other chairmen, they're having hearings, you know, for violations. We haven't had one in God knows how long.
Mr.
Janita,
Chairman,
I could take that one, Janita, if you like.
we send files to legal, Mr. Chairman. I can't tell you what they're going to do with it or when.
I'm not,
Mr.
Janita,
Chair,
I'm-
Mr. Chair, just for clarity, right? So Janita has OC enforcement, and an ABC is an assurance of voluntary compliance. So what ends up happening with the assurance of voluntary compliance, if it's issued by that investigator, which they go over with Janita to make sure that there wasn't any previous issues. It's not hand-holding by any means, but Janita is very in the loop as to what's occurring prior to the ABC being issued. If there wasn't a repetitive issue like Wayne had brought up, and the ABC is a means of resolution for that particular case, then that's what the investigator will do. If the investigator is unable to get an ABC signed, the investigator, or there's other components as well, but if an investigator is unable to get a resolution to that case, then a report is done. The report goes to Janita as the supervising special investigator. She reviews it, and if the report has enough evidence that it could be prosecuted by the department, by legal, that report is forwarded to legal. That's when the case leaves occupational enforcement, though, and goes to legal. Legal then will attempt to have a resolution. If they're unsuccessful, that's when it goes to the board. So the hearings that you're referring to,
yeah,
those are cases that are currently in legal. So when we had the recent board chair meeting, it was brought up, I think, that there's potentially 2 hearings, I think Paul brought up, that will be probably going before this board to be heard. They're just doing their due diligence on their end. So it's not
Yeah,
that
and
you're
I-
not having hearings, but there
John,
is a
not to
difference.
interrupt you, John, but I keep hearing, we're gonna have a hearing, we're gonna have a hearing. I mean, I go back to Jack Carduner. God, we were meeting over 160 Capitol Avenue. Tony might remember this. I mean, he came in and says, oh, I got one working on, and this one's actually gonna be criminal. Never, it fell off the face of the earth. I mean, I'm not, but what I'm saying is I see the AVCs as a plea bargain. If this one's what, $5,500? Was that what I remember seeing up there?
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it's like guys paying $5,500. It's a plea bargain. He knows he's getting off. You know, that's to me, that's a lot of money. I don't know, but it's probably the lesser of 2 evils. What would he have had if he had gone to a hearing? I mean, I was reading through the thing quickly there. I can't recall. It was something about the permit and apprentices and the various things. It wasn't just one charge, you know, like failure to display his license. There it is. Apprentice out of ratio, building permit work not to commence
Yeah.
until permit obtained, engaging in occupational work without a permit. I mean, there's,
Well, the point he's making is it's easy to,
who's speaking? Go ahead, finish, please.
It was Kevin, but he muted himself.
Oh,
I'm all set, Dave. Sorry to interrupt.
no, I thought you were saying, you know, yeah. So anyhow, I guess, I mean, Wayne brought up a point there about seeing his, you know, since he's been on the board, which hasn't been that long. You know, is this a second offense for this individual? Do you recall, Wayne?
the apprentice part, I believe, is. But like they said, it's after 3 years. I'm sure it was more than 3 years ago.
Oh, what? Okay, I just, you know,
So that's probably where this happened. I'm glad that was clarified. So.
Mhm.
all right.
Any further questions or, Mr.
No,
Chairman?
No, Supervising Special Investigator Hamel, no, I just appreciate your report. And so one new
Yep, we
completed,
got,
2 closed.
yep, and we're out doing site inspections. So we are out there and We just recently finished one in 4-degree temperature with DOL.
Number of
So,
inspectors, are you still short?
Um, yeah, we're there. I'm still waiting to see what HR is doing with this most recent posting and when we'll be able to have interviews.
So you're at, what's your level now? 6?
No,
No?
hang on. 5.
5, okay.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I thought we were, well,
We did have 6, but a year ago, the inspector left to go become an assistant building official for a town out in eastern Connecticut.
no, I remember that. Like I say, I thought we were,
N-
I know our goal was to have one for each county, but I guess that's never gonna happen, so.
Mr. Chairman, I will probably be retired before that happens.
And I'll be dead and buried, Janita.
Don't say that, sir.
Well, it's probably true, though.
Uh,
I mean, five is the most I've ever, I mean, well, 6, we lost one, but I mean, we for years, I mean, you've been running
Mhm.
around with there was probably 4 for the longest time.
Yep, and
Yeah,
prior,
never-
yep, and prior to that, it was, for a while, it was just me. And then it was me and 2, and then
Mhm.
we got 4.
Yep.
To get up to 6 and fall back to 5. It's, it's tough, but
Yep.
we're waiting
Keep-
to have interviews.
Keep plugging along. That's all I can say. Thank you for your report. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Yeah, don't keep calling me sir, though, please. So,
Habit, it's not gonna
I
change.
know. It's just, all right. Okay, moving on. DCP Legal. No, nothing. We have anybody from legal here today? No?
No, there's nothing from legal, and I
Okay,
was not
okay.
made aware of any correspondence
Okay.
from them.
Okay, just checking. Old business backflow. Did have some conversation with CJ Strand. Gonna make it, part of the record. I'm a little disappointed because this thing has been ongoing. Thanks to John Mesner that he did reach out. We're into just give you a little brief synopsis. They're into the legislative session. And basically I was directed by CJ to, it was probably the onus was on me to approach the legislature, which I thought that's why we had the, back when Leslie O'Brien, you got, Tony, you guys that were here, Kevin, anybody that's been here on the board for a while, this issue's been a topic that's been on the whole business since Richard Hurlbert left the department when he dropped that bombshell on us that the backflow had to be installed by the plumber. I mean, this goes back several years because I approached the plumbing board. I thought we had, we're going to have an agreement, and their chairman took a positive stand opposing it. Anyways, I was directed that if I wanted to do anything, maybe I should reach out. And I thought that's why we had the legislative liaison or whatever through the department, but just getting you up to speed. I thought they would have more ammunition or strength approaching than myself, but I don't know. Like I say, it's just making the board aware where we stand with that. Like I say, I'm a little disappointed that the burden was thrown back on the board's court. Anybody have anything to discuss, say, input? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you got nothing good to say, just don't say anything at all, man. We'll just tell me.
Oh.
So that's why I'm not saying anything.
That's where I'm
Oh,
at.
well, like I just say, I probably say too much, but I mean, like I say, that's, you know. Go from there, I guess. All right. Continue keeping that in old business. New business. We have a application for review. Aaron Stearman. Is he present?
No, he's not.
He's not. Okay. I'm just looking. Well,
Rochelle, do you have a number for him, Rochelle? Any chance? I could try to call him and see if I can get him back onto the meeting. If
I just had the email, but if you give me a second, I can try to see if there's a
okay.
number.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if you want to move on to the next item, if there is one, we can see if we could get him in here.
all right. Well, we could, I mean, it's still on the agenda. I mean, it's, you know, it's applications for review, whether he's present or not, I would assume, correct?
Yes, sir.
I'll say so.
No, I mean, it's, but I'll move on just in case Rochelle's looking, reconnecting. Correspondence, I don't believe there's any correspondence. And last item on the agenda is comments or concerns. Persons present today. Any comments? I know Tony's got nothing good to say, so he's not going to say nothing.
I'm waiting for the next snowstorm.
Me too, Tony.
Yeah.
Well, you know what cracks me up, Dave, with the backflow thing? They want to claim that it's their work and all that, but meanwhile, they're building warehouses and everything all over the state. And they want to install all the underground after the fire loop. After the fire pump, which is a fire loop, and you need a sprinkler license, but they try to say it's their work.
Who's
Same
that, the
thing
plumber?
with the laborers with their little special P9 or whatever it is. It's just, you know, we know they're all going in everywhere. And
Well, it was years ago. I mean, there was a case in Rhode Island. Actually, it was Twin Willows, Twin River, the casino up there. And it was a similar situation because there was a lot of underground after the fire pump. And it was ruled that it's the work of the, you know, the properly light, the sprinkler fitter. It's not site work anymore when it's, you know, it's part of the fire, like you just stated, it's part of the fire system, fire line.
I mean, I go around all the time. We got it at Yukon. We did it at Bradley. I was just at Amazon up there. It's our work. You need a sprinkler
Right.
license.
Right. That's where enforcement has to come in. And it's unfortunate because then you gotta contact somebody there. You gotta get them out there. But I mean, it's not the fortunate thing is it's not something that it's guerrilla tactics where it's going to be one day in, one day out. They're going to be running that line for, you know, it's this substantial amount of work. So, but like I say, I guess these people are paid by the state of Connecticut to, you know, to do their due diligence as far as legislative liaison, whatever, the work. And I just thought it was wrong for him to try and suggest that I reach out to the legislature. Any success, Rochelle?
I just got off the phone with him. He said he was still in the lobby waiting, but I told him to sign off and sign back in. So
Oh, okay.
we give him a moment to see if he could
Yeah.
get in. Yep, there he is.
There he is.
I'll go ahead and let him in. All right, Rochelle beat me to it. Thank you, Rochelle.
Okay, the item on the agenda is the application. Aaron, and correct me if I'm saying it wrong, Stearman, is that correct, Aaron? Mr.
Yes, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. Thank you for the opportunity to redress this matter.
Am I saying it right? Is it Stearman or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, close
All right.
enough. It's a tongue twister.
Oh. Well, give me the correct pronunciation.
It's Steierman.
Oh, Steierman. Okay. All right. So we're reviewing your application. You applied for an F1 Connecticut contractor's license.
Yes.
I have looked into this quite a bit. I mean, you have a notarized letter, dates and duties. Your apprenticeship was not formal, and it's stated June 2014 to January 2016. It's approximately 1.5 years. I assume it was in the state of New York.
Yeah.
That you. Go ahead.
The apprenticeship program was, or what was the state of New York?
Your work, your where you performed your work there, yeah.
Yeah, mostly.
And
we've also done some work in Jersey as well.
okay. And then your application also stated January 2016 to September 2018, 2 years and 9 months as a journeyman, correct? Right. You provided also several certificates for inspection and testing, NICET 2. I'm reading from my notes here. Philadelphia's contractor certificate, and it's for the company, not for you specifically, correct?
The contractor certificate, I'm not familiar with which contractor certificate.
Philadelphia. It was a Philadelphia contractor certificate. It's for Be Safe Fire Sprinkler Corp. Is that your company? Yeah. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Rockland County, New York, mechanical contractor's license for fire protection. And like I say, you have to look, those are just a few notes I jotted down, but all were certificates and not licenses. I think you were instructed by the Department of Consumer Protection, State of Connecticut, that you must provide the criteria to obtain these licenses.
I might have submitted the wrong documents. The documents that I submitted were what I believed at the time were the actual licenses. But I am licensed in Philadelphia and New Jersey and Rockland County, New York.
And those are actual licenses?
Yeah.
And what were the requirements to get, is that for purposes of taking out permits, or is it, like in Connecticut, a true contractor's license means you've served in a 4-year apprenticeship, you've had the related instruction, and you've held that license for 2 years as a journeyman, and now you apply for the F1, which is the license category you are applying for right now.
Right. So in Philadelphia, they have the same requirements, and we've submitted documentation as far as my work experience and work history, and as well as the apprenticeship program that I took with AFSA, American Fire Sprinkler Association, and
Mhm.
that was sufficient for them. And I believe that that's the same requirements that the state of Connecticut is requiring.
Well, Philadelphia, requires you to, serve a registered fire suppression system apprenticeship program, approved and registered with the U.S. Department of Labor. And it says consisting of 8,000 hours of documented practical experience and 800 hours of related instruction. New Jersey's requirement for a contractor is a NICEP 2.
Right.
Reading through it is basically, it's so you can run a business or, again, take out building, mechanical permit for fire protection. So I say, that's
Right.
doing my research, and I did reach out to New Jersey regarding the C2 fire sprinkler system. I called, asked several questions. I was told to contact another department in the state, given a number for fire safety. I called that, and the number was no longer in service. So I mean, like I say, I had done, some looking into this, your application, and in the original application, when it went before the application review working group, I voted to deny based on what was provided. And I see no additional information to substantiate the fact that you served an apprenticeship. And that's how like I say, the hours that you provided were not documented, they're not formal. And like I say, it was 1.5 years according to your submission as far as your apprenticeship.
Right. So I'm trying to get a better understanding in regards to the apprenticeship program. I did submit the documents from American Fire Sprinkler Association. Did you see those?
That attests to the related instruction portion. Like I say,
Oh.
the Connecticut license requires 8,000 on-the-job training, 576 related instruction, and that AFSA certificate, the Contrin 4-book series, has been accepted as the equivalent as far as the 576 hours of related instruction. So that portion is acceptable. It's the hours you seem to be lacking, in documented hours. One thing the state doesn't accept is undocumented hours. And like I say, I mean, if you had a notarized statement from your employer stating dates and duties to attest to that, it would be taken into consideration. I don't know, does anybody, I'm sorry, does any board member have any questions or input or?
So, can I say something?
Yeah.
Right. So that's understandable. And actually, the Philadelphia Licensing and Inspection Board had the same issue. And so I raised this matter as far as having another way to be able to prove that I do have that experience and those hours. So they accepted pay stubs, 1099s and tax forms to prove that I've worked this amount of time. and that was sufficient for them.
Yeah. That would not, see, the fact that you were employed by the company doesn't attest to your dates and duties pertaining to fire protection. You follow me?
Right.
Yeah. So like I say, I mean, you said it was an issue with, would you say Philadelphia, that, but they accepted it?
Yeah.
Any board members have any questions from Mr. Steierman?
Yeah, I wasn't, I was muted. I did the pay stubs and the information that you had provided. Does it give you, state your duties and what you were doing, or is it just, hours of work? I mean, because it could have been driving a truck delivering.
That's
I
correct.
I don't remember if they asked for an affidavit or something notarized.
Well, I mean, that would help us if you had something notarized from your employer. Or your, like Dave said, your dates and duties
Right.
and
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
My
it's-
issue,
go ahead, Wayne.
my issue too is you mentioned, you know, they accepted 1099s. In my eyes, if you had 1099s, you were a subcontractor, so who was training you?
Right. So that was later on when I started working as a contractor. They were paying me as a contractor, but in the beginning I had W-9s.
The pay stubs will show that you worked for the company, but how do we know you weren't like a truck driver? You know, can it be broken down on your duties and what you've done?
Okay. If that's something that would be helpful, I can provide that.
Well, it's required. It's not, it would
Right.
be, it would be helpful in your case, but it's required. I mean, like I say, two board members brought up the same point. If you're employed as a truck driver, you're not getting on-the-job training as a sprinkler apprentice, or, you know, like I say, your own application, like I say, you've only documented your apprenticeship of 1.5 years. Nobody does an apprenticeship in 1.5 years for fire protection, I should say. But there's no
The
way you
other
could
issue
cram
I
it into
see
there.
too, he possibly might be applying for the wrong license.
And how's that?
Well, he needs the 2 years experience, I thought, as a journeyman. To become a contractor, be eligible.
In the company that I worked in the beginning, there wasn't any specific stated title for what you know what we were doing. So we were getting training, and then, you know, as time went on, you know, we would go to different job sites and perform different tasks. There wasn't any clear definition. Okay, you completed an apprenticeship program. It was more of, it was a family-owned business. You know, you understand?
And looking at your application, it's quite extensive. Like I say, reading through it, I mean, it seems like a lot of your experience, this is my interpretation, a lot of your experience is inspection and testing. Or seems to be what your, I don't know if that's what your company is geared to, or you do a lot of.
I would say it's 50-50, maybe 60-40, but I would be inclined to say that it's more installation and service and maintenance.
There's a schedule of values for the F2, which is a journeyman's license in the state of Connecticut. And it's broken down for several categories, you know, wet systems, dry systems, you know, I mean, I could go through the whole gamut, you know, stand pipes, you name it. I mean, it's in there. And it's an unlimited license. So you could do almost anything with regards to fire protection. And the contractor is a step above, because in the state of Connecticut, you need a contractor's license to take out permits and basically to run the company. You're applying under equivalency, so we're going to verify that you have what it takes. You have equivalent experience to qualify. And I be perfectly honest with you, based on what, with all the documentation that you provided that I looked through and I made notes on, and it doesn't appear to me that you have the equivalent experience. You haven't even paid, put your time in as far as apprenticeship or OJT.
Well, it's undocumented, but I certainly put in the hours. The question is how I can prove that at this point. For me to go back to square one to an apprenticeship program would be very impractical based on my time constraints and my duties at this point. So if there's a way I can prove retroactively somehow my experience, I would gladly do so.
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but can't the applicant go to the Department of Labor, register as an apprentice, and then they might consider his prior experience as part of the OJT?
DOL will not give for undocumented time. They won't give credit. At least that was today it could be different, but that's always been past practice.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would rule today, but I mean, yesterday there's no credit for undocumented.
Just thought it might be an option for him.
No, I understand. It's, like I say, it's,
Well, the issue he has too is who's he gonna work under to have the license, to be a
Yeah,
registered.
he'd have to find somebody to register him.
Right.
is there, I guess I'm making an assumption it's a family company.
Well, my dad and my uncle started way back in the 90s, and they worked together up until around 2014. I started working for my uncle when my dad was still working with him. So they had a falling out and they split up. And eventually I joined my father and started working with my father.
There's no Connecticut licenses involved in the company. Your father or your uncle? I'm asking the question.
No, they're licensed in New York City.
So you'd have a difficult time working under the guidance of you have a program and registered with the state of Connecticut. There's no, I don't know.
So I'm in quite a pickle, huh?
In my eyes, I like I say, Mr. Steinman, the original vote when it went before the working group, I voted to deny based on the information. Like I say, I went above and beyond contacting people from New Jersey, and like I say, I don't see the
I have the direct number for, I think his name is Kevin. He's the supervisor at the fire and safety for the state of New Jersey. I can send you that number. I know it's kind of confusing to find the numbers of who to reach over there.
Well, no, like I say, I called Division of Fire Safety, in New Jersey. I guess I'm looking at my notes here, and it was a C2
Yeah.
license, and I called the first, the first number I spoke. We did had a slight, we had some discussion, and
Oh, you reached
basically,
somebody.
I'm sorry?
You were able to reach somebody.
At that number,
I
yeah,
thought you could get through.
it was a 984-7860 number, but they ended up giving me another, and says, "Oh, you want the answers? Here's the number to call." And it's like, okay, you're talking to one state agency, they're switching to another, and then it says the number's no longer in service. I go, well, it's like, where am I getting and I'm not going to call back and say, "Do you have another number?" But so kind of, was a dead end. So, I mean, like I say,
I do have the number if you wish to do some more digging.
I'll take the number. I won't, like I say, but I was looking in to see what their criteria was for the license. That's what I wanted to hear. It's how they, they issue it. Like I say, I mean, right now we're discussing whether you sit down for the test. You still have to pass the test,
Right.
to get the license. But you haven't crossed that threshold yet to say, in my eyes, and I'll put it to the vote or the rest of the board, and that's why it's here, because it was, there's a procedure. It goes to 3-panel, then if that's denied, it goes to the full board. If that's denied, you could take it to court and go from there. So, but if you want to give me that number, I'll write down. This is for fire safety, or?
Yes. Gonna pull that up.
Fire safety for New Jersey, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Gonna search it in my email. Didn't have it.
While you're searching, what it sounds like you really need to do is to try to get documented somehow that your in-service training, your 3,000 hours of. Am I right, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, we have accepted a notarized statement from the employer stating dates and duties of employment with regards to fire protection, and to be reviewed. And then, like I say, it has to be specific. It can't, I mean, like I say, that's why I asked the question. A lot of his certificates were for fire, for inspection and testing.
Right.
And I mean, that's not the criteria for the F1 or the F2 license. It's a portion of it, but it's not
Very small.
not the crux of it. It's
So I submitted those because those were, the other documents that I have. NICET doesn't have a certification for on-site, on-the-job work experience.
well,
But those were just related documents that I had, so that's what I submitted.
NICET's basically for design purpose. It doesn't give you practical field experience. Again, I mean, Kevin Wipachowski is probably our expert on that. I mean, he could attest to the NICET levels.
Yeah.
I'm
also a NICET level 4 designer, and that program's set up to design sprinkler systems, not to install them. So that skill is not applicable to the license category you're applying for.
I mean, I attended a seminar years ago, and not to belittle NICET, but somebody made a statement, NICET 1, you could put your name on the paper. You get NICET 2 if you spelled your name correct. I mean, then it gets a little more technical as you get to, and like I say, I'm just saying that was an example they used, which Kevin says it's not practical hands-on experience. on the installation of sprinkler systems. The vast range of different types of sprinkler systems that are out there. So nice that it's shifted to the, like Kevin said, to the design portion, so to speak. You're getting a certification as you progress certain levels for that type, for design, not for installation.
Right, understood. I just sent the information for Chris McCallis at Fire Safety New Jersey.
You want to give it to me? I'll just jot it down.
Oh, okay. That's 609
Yes,
930
930
1570.
1570. And what was his name?
Chris McCallis.
Chris McCallis?
You need me to spell that?
That I'll do it phonetically.
Okay.
But
So how long did you work for your uncle and your father in the field?
In total, 2010 through 2010 till today. So 16 years.
So they can't give you a notarized letter listing everything you've done while you worked there to probably like try to put towards here, you know, and then you have the pay stubs to prove it. You know, I'm not saying it's going to definitely work, but it's an avenue to go down to show that you've done these different aspects of the trade.
So yeah, of course they would be glad to help me with that. But how would it look if they both have the same last name and they're notarizing a document? You know, how much weight would that carry?
it's a family company. I mean, it's you know, I mean, we realize that we're not. It's not. You know, it's plus when somebody signs a notarized statement, they're attesting to that fact. And if it's false, that's perjury. You know, I mean, we've had instances where somebody submitted a document that wasn't true, and it kicks off an investigation because they've now made a false statement to the commissioner. You know, they perjured themselves. So that's why I say, you know, it's that's why it's notarized.
Hey,
You're raising your hand.
Dave, even if he can jump the hurdle and prove equivalency to us, doesn't that allow him to get approved for the F2 license first?
Well, I would agree that John, I don't know if you does that equivalency hold true there?
So if it would be the same review what's going on now. He would have to substantiate that the contractor license that he holds out of state is equivalent to the requirements for Connecticut in order to be deemed equivalent. If his contractor license out of state has the same requirements as Connecticut, then he'd be eligible for his contractor license without having to wait and hold a 2-year journey person in Connecticut.
Okay, so it's like for like then. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's the equivalency, like you just said, Kevin, and the rest of the board, you know,
Yeah.
and everything I'm seeing, it's not equivalent right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I haven't seen the equivalency either. But if he got there, I was just wondering if he had to go for the F2 first, but thanks, John.
Right.
Well, it's an avenue for him to try to eventually get the contractor license. If he can prove it, then apply for his F2, become a journeyman in the state of Connecticut as long as all the documents are there. And then after
Right.
2 years, he could apply to take the contractor's test.
Yep. So if you had the equivalency of an F2, you could do that route first.
Okay.
Well, then he'd have to wait that 2 years because that was the other thing remember we used to have the hardship that there's
Yeah.
no such thing as a hardship anymore, we were told. So it's, I don't know.
He'd have to work under somebody's license for 2 years.
Right. So, I mean, like I say, if there is an avenue that he could get, if he provided the information that he had the equivalence experience from another state, and the key word is equivalent, the state would recognize that and grant him to sit for the test for the F1.
So again, I don't fully understand how the Philadelphia requirements aren't equivalent to the F1 of Connecticut.
Neither do we.
Well, like I said, I my notes, and like I got a chicken scratch because I was doing this as I was reading through, but it's the Philadelphia requirement stated a registered fire suppression system apprenticeship program. You must complete that. That's approved and registered with the US DOL, Department of Labor.
For a state apprenticeship program.
Say again?
For a state apprenticeship program.
Yeah, and it says consisting of 8,000 hours of documented practical experience and 800 hours of related instruction. I'm reading that right from there.
Oh, okay.
To Philadelphia.
Do you have?
I don't see how you submitted nothing to us that shows that was held true in Philadelphia. So I don't know.
Right, and I didn't submit it. I didn't submit it to them either, but I was I presumed that since they accepted other forms of equivalency as far as work experience, that since they accepted it, you may as well.
Well,
That's
I don't know if that was the one that accepted your W-2s and your W-9s or.
Right, yes.
I mean, like I say, that just shows you worked for the company. So there may be, and
Right.
I'm not trying to sell in Philadelphia is it's a city. It's not it's not a Pennsylvania license, right?
Yeah. Pennsylvania doesn't have license, and neither does
No,
New York State.
A lot of states don't, but in Connecticut, it's, I always used to call it the Cadillac of the licenses. So, I mean, that's where we stand. I think, I mean, I'll call for a vote. I mean, it will also give you the option, you can withdraw your application to provide further documentation or whatever, but I mean, procedure is to call for a vote. I don't know, Kevin, are you trying to show? I can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that. I can't really get it clear enough, but there's a fire protection sprinkler work licensing section of the Connecticut General Statutes, and that identifies what the scope of work is for the license requirement. So if you could look at that and compare it to another state and prove to us that it is the same, then that would be a consideration. But you'd have to spell it out in your duties of employment too. That would have to be really clear. And then the Department of Labor has the requirements of the licensing apprenticeship requirements. So if you called them, you could get that written requirement too. Different department than us.
Apprenticeships are covered by the Department of Labor in the state of Connecticut. Like I said, there's a schedule of values that they have that each apprentice for fire protection must get so many hours in each discipline.
It breaks it down to like if you're getting on the job training for foam systems, say, it gives you the number of hours you have to do those duties to get to the next level in the apprenticeship. So the on the job training is very specific. It's not just, I worked for a fire sprinkler contractor for 4 years. And then the Department of Labor would have somebody overseeing that apprenticeship and make sure that you have, in fact, done those duties.
So. I mean, I think we've laid, the information, made it clear that, like I said, I'll call for the
So-
board, the board to vote. Because like I say, that's the next step in the procedure. So,
Is it something that he can get additional information or of dates and duties and you didn't actually go through an actual apprenticeship program, right? Because you don't have a certificate. So you did equivalency. So you need that in documentation with a notarized affidavit.
Right. So that I can certainly provide. Do you think it's worth it? You said I may want to withdraw the application and submit further documentation. So, I
don't know if I misspoke with withdraw. That's always your option to withdraw, but like I say, just your apprenticeship was not formal, but you by your own submission, you stated your apprenticeship was June of 2014 to January 2016, which comes out to about a year and a half. And your journeyman time was January 2016 to when you completed that, or what you're calling your apprenticeship, January 2016 to September 2018. I don't know what happened after 2018.
Right. So none of it was formal. I just put in dates approximately when I progressed in my experience.
Right. But what did you do after 2018? Were you still working as a sprinkler fitter?
Yeah. Fitter and foreman and supervisor.
Dave, John has his hand up.
Would it?
I don't know. I'm not seeing John. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm looking at my notes. Okay. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Just for clarity, because I don't have the application in front of me as you guys do. He does have the completion of the 4-book program, correct?
Correct.
All right. So his related instruction is complete. So it's the OJT that's in question, just for clarity. Correct? All right. So
he's already admitted he hasn't completed an apprenticeship, John. No formal apprenticeship. But again, what would be acceptable would be dates and duties pertaining.
Correct. I just want to substantiate because we got the two pieces there. We had the related instruction, and then we had the on-the-job training. So his related instruction is complete because he completed the approved program.
No problem.
So what's in question here is his 8,000 hours of on-the-job training. And just for clarity for the applicant, because he did not submit the Philadelphia license, which may be equivalent. So what a recommendation could be, Mr. Chair, is you could table the application, giving the applicant an opportunity to provide the additional information. So this application could be heard at the next board meeting, if you wanted to go that direction.
John, here's the problem I have. Like I say, the Philadelphia requirement was a 8,000 hour apprenticeship. I don't know how he got that, approved. And it says the apprenticeship must be approved by the and registered with the DOL, US DOL.
Yeah. So we have the same here. It's likely because they don't have a state-run program. So in jurisdictions that don't have state-run, that run an apprenticeship program, it's administered through US DOL. But just like the applicants here today, he could have been approved through equivalent experience, even though it was an apprenticeship in Philadelphia.
And it could be also that they didn't scrutinize the application. I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer, but I'm saying what I'm looking at, the investigation that I did, it doesn't
So from what I'm remembering, I believe I did submit to Philadelphia after it was initially denied. I submitted to them an affidavit with dates and duties. I have to look back. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe I did send it to them.
Okay.
One
so-
second, I'm in a meeting.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I mean, what you might want to do is get those minutes from that meeting. They should be publicly available. And maybe submit that with the scope of the work and the requirements for the Philadelphia license, and then a letter substantiating that your license is in good standing in that jurisdiction, along with notarized letters attesting to the scope of the work that you do for your family business there, so that the board may further evaluate your on-the-job training.
And you were telling him to do that, not me, John, right?
No, that's correct to the applicant as a recommendation
Right.
for the department so that the board could review it. Because again, these are documents, this application's at the board at this point. So any further action will be at the board. So if the board made a vote just to table the application, it would keep your current application active. Be mindful that active applications expire after 1 year. So again, depending on the timing of you getting the documentation together, getting it back to our board coordinator so it could be added to the agenda. If the board voted to table the application, that's an opportunity that you could then come back before the board with the additional information so the board could again evaluate that on-the-job training. If that's the way the board voted.
And the one thing I'll say with regards to the Philadelphia requirement, and it's bless you, Sean. It's a city license, and I mean, I'm not, there's a lot of city licenses out there. I mean, could be a different requirement. What I was happy to see there was their requirements. And like I said, I read them, I'll read them again, but it's very similar, except, you know, the 8,000 hours, but they have 800 hours of related instruction, which is over and above. I mean, we've said the Contran 4-book learning series is equivalent to 576. I mean, now we're looking at another 224 hours. I mean, but like I say, it's, you know, it is accepted program in the state of Connecticut, the Contran. So he's fulfilled, you know, met that requirement. But he just doesn't have the hours. So your suggestion is that we table it, John?
I'm just
Yeah.
putting it out there as an option versus the
I would,
versus denying it.
because if we allow him to go and get the additional information, if he can, if he's got that affidavit or get an affidavit, get the information he provided for Philadelphia, and so we can review that further. So I would intend to make a motion allowing further information to be forwarded to us to review for the related instruction. I'm sorry.
I'd second that.
So I'll put that in a motion.
So the motion
I'd second
made-
that, Tony.
Make a motion that we table his application to allow the applicant to provide additional information on his work hours and dates and duties and.
All right.
Second.
I'm just jotting this down.
Mhm.
Just give me a second.
Sure. So they provide further information for his on-the-job training related to requirements.
Okay, so I'm going to, motion made and was seconded to table the application for this applicant so he can provide further information for his on-the-job training, you know, stating dates and duties, correct?
One thing, Tony, I'd like to add to that, if you
Sure.
don't mind, is to have him compare it to the state of Connecticut's requirements.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do that. He has, the burden of proof would be on
Well,
him
yeah.
to do it.
And just for clarity to the applicant, you could find the work schedule on the Connecticut Department of Labor's website
Bingo.
under the Office of Apprenticeship Training. You will find a link on there that says potential programs. And when you go to building trades, you'll find fire protection F2. That gives the work schedule of which board member Wipachowski is referring to. So you're looking for the work schedule for the F2 that has a breakdown of the hours, so you're able to provide clarity in your notarized statement.
Got it.
Thanks, John. I was looking for that feverishly. I couldn't find it. Thank you.
No worries.
All right, so you heard the,
There's a motion and a second.
any discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, unanimous. It's approved. So, Mr. Steinman, you understand what, just transpired?
Yeah, basically.
So the burden of proof is now on you as far as providing us with documentation and additional information to approve or deny this application.
And as a NYSED certificate holder, you know how to do that. It's very particular.
Mhm.
Same, treat it as a NYSED application, same way.
Very detailed.
Yes,
No.
as detailed as you can make, yep. And succinct, not a long lengthy thing. It's got to be like a bullet point.
But we're looking for that, again, that Contran, you completed that, you had that 4-book series. I think you even said you couldn't find one certificate, but you had the completion certificate, which meant you had completed the course. But the other portion is the 8,000 hours. Okay?
Thank you all for your time.
Well, thank you. So
Your
that
support.
motion approved, and we'll go from there.
Right.
Good luck with your hunting.
Right.
And I
Hope to
may
see you
reach out
again
to that
soon.
individual. I may reach out to that individual you gave me the number for New Jersey, just to see what,
Yeah.
just to compare
But they-
notes.
Sure, but yeah, they don't require an apprenticeship program, so I don't know if, that bears on anything.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next on the
Anything
agenda.
further? Anything further from the board? Motion for adjournment?
Make that
Motion,
motion.
The second?
Second.
second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting adjourned at 10:15. Everyone have a good day. Thank you for your time.
Hey,
and-
Daryl, happy
Thank
skiing.
you, guys. Stay
Have a
warm.
good
See
day,
ya.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
What'd you say, Tony?
I said happy
Stay
skiing.
warm, Dave.
I couldn't hear you. Got jumped on, Tony.
Oh, I said happy skiing to Kevin.
Oh, happy skiing.
Happy skiing to you too.
I haven't been going.
Tony's a hard.
I have
Tony's
to
a harbor
go now
man.
too.
He's going water skiing.